Hi, I'm Veronica Campbell. A lot of people ask me about the psoas or the hip flexors. And it's a muscle group that connects to your diaphragm, your hips, your back. It blends in with the QL, so it's the front of your back. But what I want you to think about is beyond the psoas, what's sitting in front of it, which is all the visceral structures and a lot of the neurovascular structures that go to your hips and legs. So if this area is tight, we tend to blame the psoas, and if a hip flexor stretch isn't enough to get to it, what other tools do we have? And that's what I want to show you next is using the Courgeous ball or spiky ball, some tools to work with the front of the abdomen, the fascial layers that relate to the psoas. Because if you have history here from GI issues or surgeries or other things, or even just prolonged sitting posture, right? The world that we live in, this can create a lot of tension and create problems. So how do we address that beyond just that hip flexor stretch? Because if this is tight, it can limit how you walk, right? Your hip extension and gait in running. And if it's tight, it can also even limit your shoulder flexion and reaching and your posture and your ability to have good upright posture. So this next clip is going to be zoomed in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so how do I address this fascial area related to the visceral structures and neurovascular structures that could be stuck to the psoas? So in this area, we have soft structures. So soft meets soft. I don't like deep, sharp, aggressive tools to work to the psoas. So even if your massage therapist is working really deeply there and it's really painful, maybe ask them to lighten up a little bit, and you can add breath and movement with your legs or your body to help it release. Because just coming deep and aggressive to it, you could really be irritating neurovascular structures and things in through here. So I like a soft ball, a Courgeous ball or something like this. You can inflate and deflate it to meet sort of what you need, or even one of these soft little spiky balls are nice to work in through here. So some of these things are great tools. I'm going to demonstrate on the Courgeous ball so that you can see this a little bit easier. So you're going to be working from your hip bones below the rib cage. So anything through this abdominal area. And I do recommend working both sides. You're going to be laying down. What I suggest when you're going to lie down is just sort of put it there and then slowly lower yourself over it and just kind of unload yourself a little bit and get used to that. And maybe take a few deep breaths here. And it's the exhale that you can kind of melt over that a little bit, so you can see me inhale and I can lift off a little. And I'm pushing into the ball, and then I can exhale and melt over it. And you can play with that until you can slowly lower yourself over the ball. You can rock side to side with this, just exploring. You can be lying flatter, or you can unload it a little and support yourself, whatever feels comfortable. You can roll forward and back on it a little bit, really sort of exploring, even like counterclockwise, anything to work with this. And when you find a tight area, add a little bit more breath, or play with pressing up a little bit more, melting down on it a little bit more. Another thing I really like is playing with adding leg movement. So you can bend one leg up and down. You can bend it up and then rock the hip in and out, which really, and allowing your body to move with it a little bit, really helps get all these deep layers in here to start to soften. You can do both legs at the same time. So there's a lot of creativity and ways to play with this to help yourself free up in this area. And then maybe ending with just a nice slow deep breath, making sure you've gotten both sides nice and symmetrically open and smooth. And this area, working with slowing your breath down and melting over it, all of these structures are innervated by the vagus nerve. And so the visceral structures, by freeing them up and softening them, you're helping treat the vagus nerve in your parasympathetic system. So you can really help downregulate stress in your whole body. So I hope that helps.